Aw, shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celese. Welcome to season 4, episode 4. This is going to be a fun episode this week. We are giving you book recs with enemies to lover vibes.
Our
Yeah,
fave.
our very fave.
Yes.
So we have two recs that we both really love. And then me and Jenny will kind of go back and forth with some newer recs that we may have not spoken about, may have, but only a little bit. So tune in, get your drink, and get comfortable.
Yes. So what do you have to drink today?
I
It's kind of
have,
early for us,
yeah,
so
I have
we're being
coffee.
good.
I have iced coffee.
Iced
So
coffee.
that's what's getting me through right now.
Mhm. I'm struggling a bit, so yes, I have a tea. I have a mix of lemon and blueberry. I haven't tried this one yet, but it smells really good, so I know I'll like it. Oh, that's sweet.
So do you like it?
It's
Or
probably not something I'll mix together. I need something more bitter
hmm
and then sweet. I have two sweet.
I
Right.
love sweet, so
Yeah.
I'm a sweet sugar lover.
All right. So with enemies to lovers, I figured I'd start off with a definition of enemies to lovers because
Very
there has
controversial.
so I keep seeing people post about, oh, well, that's not a true enemies to lovers. They got together almost like midway through the book. So did they really hate each other? This is the definition of enemies to lovers. It's a relationship that starts with animosity or conflict between two characters who eventually end up with romantic feelings toward each other.
Mhm.
Animosity or conflict. They don't have to absolutely hate each other throughout the entire book for it to be
Right.
an enemies to lovers. Okay? It can
Okay.
be just a little while
hmm
and then they can fall in love.
Exactly.
Let people live.
Ultimately, the end goal is for them to have some romantic relationship.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to get into our book recs that we know we both
Yeah.
love. We
hmm
have two of them. So, Celise, you want to
Yes.
start with the first one?
So it should not come by any kind of surprise that our first one is Queen and Conqueror, which is by Isabel Olmo, which is a feminist fantasy
Hmm.
about a woman dead set on avenging her husband by marrying the man who is responsible for killing him. Hello. I
It is
mean,
so
that's an
damn good.
enemy, right? Um, Yes, we love this book. It's
Hmm.
complex. You get political intrigue, you get slow burn, tension, war, female rage. The list goes on and on. But it's
On and
a
on.
fantastic fantasy, and I'm just like foaming at the mouth for the next one.
Hmm.
So, if you haven't
Cannot
picked it
wait.
up, what are you waiting for? You need to. I feel
Exactly.
like if you are a true fantasy lover who loves enemies to lovers worlds, you would eat this up.
Yeah,
And
it
then
literally
like
has everything.
it
Everything you
really
want in a
does.
fantasy, it has
It
it.
really does. And
Yeah.
it has a multi-point of view that can be a lot for some people, but I feel
Mhm.
like it's written so well, it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel overwhelming. Like the story, you understand it as you go. Everything is seamless.
That's because it's so good, so you remember
Yeah,
everything.
for sure.
That's exactly what it is. All right, so our next one we both recently read. It's actually not out yet. It comes out
Uh,
in
A-
April
April
15th.
15th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So please go pick it up. This is Scorched Skies by E.J. Mello. It's an Icarus-inspired romantasy following a woman who needs to save her family from a dangerous winged prince. You get found family, slow burn, angst, forbidden romance. It is so, so good. I
It
could not
really,
put it down.
oh, this made me emotional, and I didn't think it would.
Oh,
There
I
were some really,
cried.
there were some really deep, good,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
emotional moments.
Agreed.
Yeah, I couldn't put this down. It was really, really good.
So good. And she has other great books, the
Yes.
Musai series that we both absolutely love.
Also
So
has
yeah,
an enemies to lovers in
Mhm.
what Dance of
A Burning Sea,
yes.
which is my favorite.
Yeah, which is your favorite.
Mhm. I
So
love
yeah,
it.
her Mosai series is really, really good. We love her. All
Yeah,
right. These are going to be some recommendations that we might be familiar with each other's like recommendations, but either one of us haven't read it or
yeah.
haven't gotten to it just yet. So one is actually that I read this year, and it's a
Okay.
romance. It's called With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. It's about two coworkers that have to work together to make their job, which is called Cold World, a more touristy attraction. So this is a workplace romance. It has found family, grumpy sunshine, forced proximity. The characters are really funny. There's some really like laugh out loud moments. There's some moments that will like tug at your heartstrings, but all in all, it is an enemies to lovers. It's more like a like I want to say rivalry. Yeah, it's an enemies to lovers. Like they don't get along and now they have to work together to kind of save their job.
Yeah. So they're in the same company, they're just
Yeah.
working together. Yeah.
hmm
I
And
agree with you. It would
definitely
be more enemies to lovers.
yeah, and I love that it's a grumpy sunshine, but not in the typical sense where he's the grump and she's the sh sunshine. It's actually
I
the
love that.
opposite. She's the grump and
Love
he's
that.
the sunshine. Like he's
Yeah.
more outgoing and she's more like of an introvert. And I just love that different dynamics. It does have queer representation, so it's just an overall really, really good book. I loved it.
Awesome. So mine is The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I read this one a couple years ago, I
Yeah.
think.
hmm
And this is an urban fantasy meets fantasy because the MCs are from different realms.
hmm
So the MC basically ended his world sometime in the past. He's bitter, he's lonely, he's depressed. The FMC made a deal with someone who in turn made her into a weapon.
Okay.
So basically, she has to find the Book of Azrael, and this is where both MCs meet up, and they absolutely hate each other, and it's so delicious when they do. They're both morally gray, so both the
Okay.
FMC and the
I
MC.
love that.
They're monsters, found family. It's a war setting, and the slow burn is slow.
Mm.
So towards the end, slow burn. But it's so
But
the payoff is like perfection.
it's worth the wait.
So so good. I have to continue this series. I haven't finished.
hmm Up next for me is a book that I have mentioned before, and I am currently doing a reread of it because I finally need to get to the second book. It's a duology, and the book is The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport.
Yep.
I absolutely love this book, and the reread has just given me more appreciation and love to N.E. Davenport's writing. This is a story that follows our main character who is on a vengeful path to uncover who is responsible for her grandfather's death. And in order to get closer to those responsible, she has to first go under these like deadly trials to become an elite warrior for her society. And in the process of that, she'll get closer to those responsible. This is so freaking good. It's a sci-fi fantasy. It has tropes like female rage, found family, magic. The enemies to lovers is a small subplot, I will say, but it's there and it's
There.
enjoyable. But yeah, this is, I would say check your triggers because this could be triggering. Just because it is a racist, misogynist world that she's in, but overall the story is so good. I've been listening to it on my way into work and I'm just like, why didn't I pick up book two yet? So I was like, let me do my reread, and I'm jumping right into The Blood
Nice.
Gifts right after. So I am excited. But
Yeah,
yeah,
every time you talk about it, I'm always like, I gotta read it. I gotta read it. So I
I feel like
bought the audiobook when you first started talking about it,
hmm
and I just haven't listened to it, which
hmm
is crazy because today, I know this isn't coming out the day that we're actually talking,
hmm
but today I was on Threads and the author posted that her the ebooks were only $2. So I bought them. So
hmm they're
now I
so
own ebooks and audiobooks. I just have to
I
get to them.
I have the audiobooks. I have, I believe, the ebooks, and then I have the physical copies. So I have the trifecta.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely jumping right into. I've put a
Yeah.
lot of books aside because it's one of those books that I'm just like, I have to. Like before the end of the year, these are the books. And
Okay.
I've been saying that for months. So I was just like, I'm putting everything aside and I'm dedicating my time to these books. I was
I
like, I
love
put my
that.
arts aside, I put a whole bunch of stuff aside. I'm finishing N.E. Davenport's books because I also got the arc of her new fantasy
Ooh,
that
that
comes
looks
out.
so good.
I believe it comes out in like October. And I got the arc, I want to say on Thursday at some point, and I've been waiting because it's been hard getting this e-arc. And I finally got accepted, and I was just like, oh my God. But I was just like, I have to read her
Yeah.
previous book,
Finish the other ones.
finish the other ones. I have time to read this one, her next
Agreed.
one. So,
Yes.
oh, and I have an arc of her romance
The
too.
romance.
Mm-hmm. That I
Is
got.
are they're both releasing this year,
Yes.
right?
She has two books coming out this year that and I have them both. I'm so excited.
That's exciting. I love that
Yes.
for you.
But yeah, the Blood Trials, Annie Davenport or Nia Davenport. She goes by both.
All right, so my next one is A Dance with Fire by Alira Anaya Ceres, and I actually just finished my reread via audiobook for this one, and I
Awesome.
forget how good this book is.
I love
I
reread.
completely forget it. So I think I'm gonna read the rest of the series in April.
Hmm
I'm hoping because I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna try really hard. But anyway, this is a world where it's illegal to be Fae. So our FMC is in hiding in a circus until her cover is blown, and she is saved by these rebels because she might be part of like this prophecy. And she gets stuck with this guy who basically has to protect her so that she doesn't die. And he hates her. He absolutely
That for
hates her.
her.
Yep. He is so annoyed by her. But it's so delicious. It's found family, fated mates, slow burn, fae versus humans, and when I say slow burn, it's slow burn as well. I love it so much, but it's so good. Riker is my boo.
hmm No, that
So
looks like a good one. I have her other fantasy, Triton's Academy, which
yeah,
is a good one too. And I believe that's an enemies to lovers. I need to finish that one too. She has a
yeah, I
lot of
remember you
good
read that.
fantasy. Yeah. She has a lot of good fantasy ones.
Yeah,
She's just an awesome author in general. All
agreed.
right. Well, my next one or last one is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This book follows our main character who has been basically being chased by death like her whole life. Everyone around her seems to somehow always die. She doesn't have the best of luck when it comes to family.
Hmm.
Um, because they always meet their maker at some point. But now she has to ally with Death himself. So this is like a paranormal gothic romantasy. She has to pair up with Death himself to help uncover some like mysteries and even a possible murder. This obviously has enemies to lovers, magic, ghosts, whodunit vibes, found family, and forced proximity. I've read
Yeah.
the first two books, so Belladonna and Foxglove. There's Wisteria, which I need to read because if I remember how Foxglove ended, it left on like a cliffhanger that I was just like, It's so good. So I have to pick up book three, and I don't think I have book three, so I'll have to get that. But I really enjoyed
Yeah.
this series. It's
That's
really,
another one I want to read.
yeah, it's a good time. It's really, really good. I think you
Mm.
would really enjoy it too.
Yeah, I hear nothing but great things about it. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I liked it. And I love like death and Cigna and like I love that it's a paranormal romance with like a thriller mystery kind of murder mystery kind of vibe.
yeah.
So it's really cool. It's really unique. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
My last one is Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert. And this is book 5 in her Dark Olympus series. And all her
Okay.
books are pretty much enemies to lovers. I don't have it. I only have the first 3 because Bookish box. Come on. I really, really wish that I had never bought the special editions from them for Dark Olympus because we're only on book 3 and she's already almost done with the series and there's like 10 books.
Oh my God.
But anyway, I
So in
digress.
order for it to match, you would have to like, oh,
Yeah.
that
Otherwise, I
would,
just like sell them and then buy another series or another matching set. It's
yeah.
so annoying. I'm so mad
Mhm.
about it. But anyway, all right. So this one is about Aphrodite and Hephaestus. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
But it's like the perfect example of like keeping your enemies super close. They use seduction as a tool to get under each other's skin.
Ooh.
This one is by far probably my book 2 was my favorite, but this one I think takes the cake. So
Mhm.
it's a mystery and a marriage of convenience. There's also a poly relationship,
Nice.
very morally gray characters, and the spice in this one is probably the best out of the entire series so far.
Well, if they're using seduction against each other, I would assume.
I should reread it. It is so, 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 so good. So good.
Mm,
My
it sounds
favorite.
good. I read the first one is Neon Gods, right? Yeah, I read the first one. And then it was enjoyable. I just don't so many
I know
books.
there's just way too many books to try to keep up.
There's
It
so
really is.
many. Like I don't know how people do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes looking at my books and like looking at like series and I'm like, oh my God, the next one is coming out. I get overwhelmed. I almost have like
Yeah.
mini panic attacks. Like when Legendborn Oathbound came out and everyone was like, "Oh my God, read it, read it." Like I had to like stop looking at those posts because it was making me super super anxious.
Yeah. It's like the FOMO feeling. It's like I want
Yes.
to read it with everyone, but you can't because you have other
Oh,
things going on.
yeah.
I get it. I get
So
it.
I'm holding out a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do is during spring break, that will be the book because I also wanted to hurry up and read it because I was scared I would read like a spoiler of some kind, which I haven't. I would read a spoiler of some kind or like it would get ruined in some way. And I felt like I had to rush to read it, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna really, really enjoy it. So I think I'm gonna do that during spring break. That would be one
Yeah.
of my
Well, good luck. You'll
books.
have a nice spring break.
And I no, I know it's gonna like, and also I thought it would be a good time because if it does ruin me, I don't have to go into work.
Okay.
You know, I have
That makes
time
sense.
I have time to collect myself.
Okay.
So if I need to like stare out the window for hours, I can do that after, you know? Because I feel like those are the vibes I'm gonna have.
You're gonna sit by the window holding the book and then in the background put on In the Arms of the Angel. Please record it. Do it.
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna need
will,
you to do
just
it.
for you.
Oh my God. All
All
right.
right,
So
Daddy.
those are our recs that
Yes.
we recommend. twins with the enemies to lovers vibe.
Mhm.
Now we each have a book or books that we want to read that are supposedly enemies to lovers because we
Mhm.
haven't read them yet. So it's something that we actually want to get to. So
Yes.
we have.
So for me, besides finishing the Blood Trials duology
Mhm.
and the Belladonna series, one of the books that I want to read, which has been on my TBR for this year, is A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya.
Oh,
It is a vampire and vampire huntress paranormal romantic fantasy. So obviously the enemies are one is a vampire, one is a vampire hunter, and they
delicious.
have to basically work together and fall in love in the process. So
Love that.
that sounds
I
like
absolutely love
a
that.
fun time. So
Yes.
that's a book I definitely want to read. And the other book, I have two is the Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole.
Love
Um,
that.
I've
Yay.
really, really good things about it. It's been on my For You page a ton recently. And I think there was like fan art I recently saw, and I was just like, you know what? That looks good.
So good.
Sometimes
So good.
fan art is the way to go to
Uh-huh.
get you
I
because
agree.
that definitely got me. And then you mentioning that, I was just like, yeah, I have to read it. It sounds really, really good.
Yeah, I have to get back to the series. I don't even know how many she has out now, maybe three,
Oh my.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how long it's going to be either. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So my book that I want to read is Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, I'm sure, has seen this series everywhere. I think there's like 10 or 11 books in the
Yeah,
series.
there's a
And I think
lot.
that's what's stopping me
Hmm.
from starting it because I don't want to get stuck.
Right.
Like it's either I'm going to get stuck and I'm going to read them all, or I'm going to get to a point where I need to take a break and then not get to it for another year or two. So, but this is a dark paranormal romance where these twins discover their fae, so they're sent to this school, Zodiac Academy. So, I
You
don't know
know the
much else
funny,
about it, but
you know the funny thing? I didn't even know that was the premise. I've seen so many reviews, so many videos,
yeah.
and I never knew it was about twins that were discovered that they were they were
You know what? You're right. Everything I've seen, I never really knew that it was really just about them. You're right. You're right about that. I
like
wonder why.
I don't know, but honestly, like thinking about it, like that's the first time, or maybe I heard it and it just didn't register, but thinking
Huh.
about all the videos I've seen on that book series, I didn't know it was about twins.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't really like think about it like that.
I really didn't. I thought it was one girl and like her being out of school.
Yeah,
You should document your process.
I will. I wonder if it has anything to do with the actual storyline. Like, I wonder if, like, okay, does it start off with them and then it kind of trickles away from them being the main characters?
Mm,
And that's why people did it that way, or that's why people review it that way. But then that's like an issue with like the whole
yeah.
blurb. Like,
Mhm. Your
huh,
guess is as good as mine. I hear
well,
very mixed reviews. Some people love it. Some people are like, what is this? Some people just, I've seen one review where she said, I have to finish it because I'm already like 8 books in. The valid point. Like, if
I,
you're already 8 books in, you might as well finish.
yeah,
It doesn't matter if it takes you 5 years to
yeah,
finish. Like, you're in it.
yeah.
Sorry. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to dedicate your time to it.
I do keep hearing that it's not written very well.
Hmm.
Um, but usually that doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
If I know that I'm going into a book that's not written well, it's not going to bother me at all. If I go into it expecting it to be really like well written, then obviously that's a disappointment and
Right, right,
I
right.
might complain about it. But if I know going in that it's really not written well, then
Is it YA or no?
no,
No. Okay.
no. At
Same.
least, oh, not from the videos I've seen.
Okay.
So I honestly couldn't tell you, but from the videos I've seen, I'm hoping it's not YA because that's a
Right.
problem.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it like dark academia?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm like reliving some of those like videos they're playing in my mind. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't realize it was about twins.
Yeah. And some of the books are about them. And I think like the last set that they wrote were about guys. Like there's
Okay.
a male main character. I could be wrong.
Okay.
No, yeah. Ruthless Boys. That's like
Oh,
the other like world connected
worlds
to.
within it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think that's why it's like 10 books.
Well, now I need you to read it so you can tell me all about it.
Hey. And I only bought these because of how pretty they are.
No,
They have
they're
the
gorgeous.
zodiac signs on the side.
Yes. No, I've
They're
seen
so
the
pretty.
special editions. They're gorgeous.
Uh, But it's
Hmm.
bookish box. So anyway, we'll leave that at that.
Well, do you have the whole set?
I have four.
Oh,
I have four. That's all.
okay.
But I don't regret buying them because they match really well with the other books that I have. The uh by Laura Thalassa.
The Bargainer series?
Yes. So they match really well with those. So I have them like
Oh, so
together.
like they
It's
look
sort
like
of like
like
celestial type
yes.
shelf.
Hmm.
So I
Me with
don't
my two sets of them.
yeah, but they work with these because I only have four of these. So the eight
Oh, so you could
or
put
the
like
six that I have of
one.
those,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're
Hmm.
like, yeah. So
That's cute. That's cute. I like that. So it worked out in your
it
favor.
did work out. Yes, I agree. Okay. That's
Okay.
it. Right.
Yes.
I think
That's
we're
all I
done.
got.
That's all our enemies to lovers Rex.
Hmm.
Hopefully we'll continue this sort of mini series with
Hmm.
different tropes. So let us
Okay.
know if there's a certain trope that you would like for
Mhm.
us to focus on, and
Mhm.
we will attempt it.
Yes. Hopefully, we've read some of the tropes you guys recommend, and we could give you some recs on it.
Yes, agreed. All right. Bye.
Bye.